What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got some spicy Spiral Phantasm duels for you guys to check out. Got a best 2 out of 3 against Sky Striker, and you would think that Sky Striker would have an edge in this matchup, but don't be so sure because a lot of Sky Striker's best cards, for instance, Widow Anchor, its best defensive card, pretty much useless against Spiral Phantasm because they don't play effect monsters. And I was actually messing around with this deck about maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I actually considered taking it to a regional. I was having good success, but it was just something a little bit missing. And this deck can run all the floodgates, man. Like so many good floodgates. You guys see a couple in his opening hand. These could definitely shut down Sky Striker. So we'll see what exactly is going to happen. Sky Striker is up first. He's going to attempt to pop his card, his face down card, with the copy of Area Zero, which he has another one. He doesn't really have a good play to go for Kagari, so I guess he's like, why even bother? He'll probably activate Widow Anchor in the end phase so he can go ahead and just set it. Fair enough. Seems like a good, solid play. Fossil Dig is going to get Ash Blossom. Problem is, ain't no hard ones returns on this card. He just gets another one. He's going to use Card by the Grave on Ray. Then he's going to simply just attack. And again, this is where it just kind of becomes like a favorable matchup for like Spiral Phantasm, because your opponent can have the Widow Anchor set. In fact, he has double Widow Anchor set, which would be excellent against most meta decks. But when you have Card by the Grave, you lose your Ray, and then you can't even use 2 of your Widow Anchors. Like, that feels really bad, man. So he can't use either one of his defensive cards. He is going to go for Foolish Burial. His opponent says, bro, I got all the floodgates. You ain't playing no Yu-Gi-Oh today. You think you on Link Summon? Not going to happen. He goes for Goes in Match and Skill Drain. I mean, maybe that was a little unnecessary. Goes in Match, already good enough. I think he wanted to do it so that he couldn't just normal summon Ray and then activate her quick effect to link summon, but Skill Drain would have shut that down anyways. He is going to go for multi-roll. I mean, he's going to get Ray to the field, but if you're wondering why he just ends and doesn't activate Ray's effect, because he can't. There are no dark extra deck Sky Striker monsters, so he is locked under Ray, and Ray is not going to do anything to this Megalo. He also top deck Godly. I mean, he just ends up getting the copy of Card of the Demise. He says, oh hell, I'll just go ahead and use the copy of Card by the Grave. I'm gonna lose it anyways if I don't activate it. I don't want to keep any cards in my hand. He's going to attack, and his opponent is just going to scoop it up. He knew that he couldn't win. He had the Ghost Ogre, but he didn't even need, the interesting thing was, he didn't even need Pacifist to win this duel. I used to always say when you're playing Spiral Phantasm that when you have Pacifist on the field, it feels like a meta deck, and when you don't, it just feels like worse than sin. But apparently he shut me up because he didn't even need it that entire time. Let's see, Sky Strikers are up once again. Interesting, he kept in DD Crow. Seems pretty terrible. Ghost Ogre is good against the deck because it can pop Pacifist. Once again, he doesn't really have, like, he doesn't have that Kagari play. I mean, I guess he could have went for Kagari and maybe added back the Area Zero, but I'm not sure if that would have really changed all that much in this duel. Anyways, he has a double pot of duality, okay? He's going to activate Regeki. Looks like that is ultimately going to be lost because of the copy of Eagle Booster. Eagle Booster might not have that much value in this matchup either. He is going to go ahead and activate, oh my goodness, again, activating all the continuous trap cards. He's going to go for Goes in Match so that he cannot link into Kagari, and then he's also going to activate the Sea Stealth attack. This card is pretty good. Like, I mean, I kind of wish it was like somehow searchable in Spiral Phantasm, but it's not. It's still a good card though. He also is going to activate another Floodgate and double summon. He's going to blow up. Here's what's going to happen, right? So he knows he can't really do any type of plays with him being locked under Goes in Match. So he's attempting to essentially blow up his Afterburner and then probably try to, oh no, he's just blowing up his Afterburner. I thought that, I guess he doesn't have enough spells in his grave. I thought maybe he was trying to get rid of a back row card, but nope. He's going to go ahead and summon off of Pacifist. His opponent sees a great opportunity to use Ogre, which is why I think Ogre is really good against the deck. The problem is the Sea Stealth attack. He can actually just give up one of his tokens, and then he can make all his spells and traps that are face up unable to be destroyed by card effects this turn. And by the way, he still gets another token too, so it's not like he even lost his beater. He is during the end phase going to pop the multi-roll, and this game looks like it's over to me. Top deck's Called by the Grave. He's going to pot of duality into a card of the mind. This guy's ripping these cards of the minds, I swear. He's going to get rid of Ray, and then he's going to draw a bunch more cards. He did lose one during the end phase. He maybe could have attacked before activating card of the minds, because I guess he just missed out on 2,000 damage for no reason. His opponent is trying to go after a set card, but I guess he thought that maybe it was a bluff or it was a dead card. Doesn't matter. The C stealth attack is just going to continue protecting those cards. If he didn't have enough floodgates on the field, my man says, look, I got skill drain. I got floodgates for days, kid. Like, you really want parts of this? I don't think you do. He's going to summon that token because his opponent did activate a card, and this game is over. I mean, even if he didn't have this dead hand trap, let's say that this hand trap would have been maybe an Ash Blossom. I really don't think that it changed this game at all. I think that he just got like floodgated out of this duel so hard, and the real problem was he can never keep Ray reliably in his graveyard. Like that's essentially how like Sky Strikers work well with their grind game. If you kill their links, they just summon Ray back, and then they get more links for free, basically. Well, I mean, he just kept called by the Graving Ray, and he just never allowed that to kind of happen. Anyways, let's pause for a quick second and check out the Spiral Phantasm build. Alright, this is what the deck looks like on paper, and wow, I am shocked. There are almost no monsters in this deck. I thought maybe playing Spiral Phantasm you could get away with like 3 copies of Megalo Smasher X, and maybe like a couple copies of Fossil Dig, essentially to search it and be another monster. But no, this guy is just playing 2 copies of them each, and yeah, maybe that's probably what I needed to do, was cut down a little bit. I do think that like looking at it, like Called by the Grave and Regeki are really useful, because one problem that I kept having in my my Spiral Phantasm was sometimes I would use like Card of Demise, and I would have too many cards, and I would have to like just discard something. So Called by the Grave gives you like, I guess, just kind of like a good utility card that we saw in the duels, that you can kind of just shotgun so that you don't have to discard it for turns when you use a Card of Demise and you don't want to have a hand. Plus, it's just solid against almost every deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's good against almost every meta deck. I mean, there are some of the like control decks, maybe like Ultragaze, where it's not like super good against, but it is good for the most part against most decks. Even kind of the same thing can be said about Regeki. It's kind of like a pretty decent go second card. If your opponent makes a board that has some type of disruption, then at the very least they have to like use their negation on the Regeki, and that does allow you to potentially use other cards like Demise and Extravagance and Duality, just basically let you use those without having to fear those negations, because you can just kind of throw this out there. Or if your opponent does negate something like pot of Extravagance, then you just follow up with the Regeki, and you absolutely just like torch their board. This deck is always going to run Floodgates because it is very effective. I do like the fact that no floodgate in this deck is being ran at 3. That was a problem I also had. I think maybe should have taken the ratios down to like 2. You can run summon limit because you're only going to be summoning tokens, and then Megalo Smasher X, you don't really like do that much summoning. You got Goza Match. Everything in your deck is obviously water, and then you have there can only be 1. I forget exactly what the Pacific's token is, but I know that this guy's a dinosaur. It's probably a sea serpent if I just had to guess. Let's see. It's a worm. Oh, okay. So yeah, you'll never be locked under your own copy. You're never really gonna have 2 copies of Megalo Smasher X, so like don't worry about that. And then also things like Macrocosmos, Dimensional Fissure cards, just that are annoying that meta decks don't want to deal with. I probably would do this though. I'm never a big advocate in decks like this of running Solemn. Like if I'm going to run one Solemn, it's always going to be Judgment, because it's like, to me, it's the most impactful Solemn because it just stops everything. So that would probably be my changes. I would probably take out Warning, and I would put Judgment in there, because I don't really think like summons are going to beat this deck. I think they summon and you floodgate them, but things like Twin Twister in the main deck, those can be the things that kind of wreck you if you don't have your, C stealth attack. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the duels. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.